Hello folks, welcome to Pro Trader Strategies Market Commentary. I'm Eric Wilkinson, and yes, you very well may recognize me from mainstream media where I've talked about the economic data, the geopolitical environment, how that all comes in to impact the markets with some of my market analysis. I'm going to do the same thing in these daily market commentaries, but I'll go a little bit further and talk about these option strategies I'm trading in my portfolio based on those assumptions that we come up with in that market analysis. For you folks, I've also gone even further in these webinars where I streamline the process for you guys to find the optimal option strategy for any given assumption. Options can be intimidating, I'm not going to lie, but what I do is I build from simple concept and expand to real life examples. And then we talk about those examples in these daily market commentaries, all right? So check those out at Pro Trader Strategies. And that's all I got for you. Let's get on with the economic data and see what's going on with the overall markets. Across the pond, German retail sales, negative 4.5%, expected to be positive 0.2%, and they revised last month's number up, albeit just slightly by 0.5%, not making up for that headline miss, which was just a whiff at the batter's box there for all intents and purposes. Unemployment change came in at 9,000 layoffs, expected to be 9,000 hires, and they revised last month's number to be about 4,000 less hires than what was expected. That's not good for Germany. Then we got the CPI flash estimates for the European region coming in line with expectations at 0.9%, and then consumer price index, which is the core reading, strips out food and energy, tobacco, things like that, in line with expectations as well at 1.1%, expected to be 1.1%. Now, here in the United States, we got our tip economic optimism data point coming in at 55.4, expected to be 52.2, better than expected. The rest of the day, we're going to be hearing from probably Phil LeBeau about the Ward vehicle sales, but also Bernard and Daly, who are both FOMC members, speaking this afternoon. All right, so we won't get those vehicle sales in until the end of the day, but keep that, ear to the wall because you'll be hearing some of these numbers popping out throughout the day. All right, so on to the markets. Crude oil trying to claw some way back a little bit today after yesterday. Started to see some slide. We got below that 9-day simple moving average. That is our first signal for short-term bearishness. Yes, we do have a little bit of a candle here as of right now if we were to end right here, that it looks like maybe we found a little bit of a bottom. But something to note here, we've got like a mini head and shoulders going here at the top of this move. Obviously, the right shoulder is not there yet, but we can see what we're, let me try and draw it in there so maybe it's a little bit easier for you to see it. So a bit of the head and shoulders, so we got a little bit of a line here, the head, and then we get a bounce here which isn't there yet, and then the neckline. So looks like we could be kind of building on that. At this point, it's really not shaping up that way. I just kind of saw that this morning with this little doji setting up there to give a bit of a bounce. Now we would have to break that pattern by going higher than 63, probably $64 a hand, a barrel. All right, bonds unchanged. The markets are just really boring today. I mean, Bitcoin off 1,000 points. But gold making a move to the upside here, as you can see, up $6. But again, we have a pattern which could be very indicative of, a downward trending type of trade. So anytime you get that doji where we got the red doji here and then the green doji, what normally looks like this green doji, if it were all by itself, would look more like a bottom. But anytime these two come together, that gives you a big question mark because, the first thing that could happen, number one, is we could sell off, continue that pattern. And then the other possible scenario is number two is obviously that we rebound. So it's really hard to read this type of setup. But generally speaking, the one that is more likely is action number one, which is a continuation of this sell-off. So gold just not looking too good today. We need a pretty big move. But continuing, though, on our inversely correlated to the Bitcoin somehow. All right, VIX is moving just slightly higher today. overall markets, I mean, yes, Dow Jones we can see is down by 120 points. Bit of a sector rotation again today. It just seems like in and out from blue chip to tech. Tech was doing a little bit better earlier this morning. And starting to see that start to sell off. But we were testing with our trying to test that positive territory. But again, still below that 9-day simple moving average. That is short-term weakness, you know, along the lines of everything else. E-mini S&P is just slightly off on the day. It is above the 9-day simple moving average. But if the overarching equities are all seeing this bearish undertones, it's going to kind of drag on E-mini S&Ps as well. We can see over the night, you know, yesterday just unabated to the upside, just no real relenting. Yeah, overnight pretty flat. Today, I mean, it's an inside day. I mean, very typical inside day, no bones about it. We've got the value area high, value area low inside of yesterday's value area. And we almost have the point of controls lining up perfectly here with yesterday's, and that would be like your atypical inside day and nothing in and around that. With that being said, inside days are hard to trade around because it is just so quiet. We don't know which direction we're going to go. I'm going to hold off on doing anything today other than those things that I'm already trying to get out of, covered calls in pen and things like that. So other than those, just basic maintenance to the overall portfolio, I'm going to probably leave it alone today unless something really jumps out. I mean, I have gone through my entire watch list, looking at charts, trying to read the tea leaves to find something where we're getting a clue as to our directionality, and just not really seeing it. It's not showing up for me today. So I'm probably going to sit on my hands, get ready for the webinar this Thursday. So check that out. At protraderstrategies.com. We're going to be talking about the strategy Mark Cuban made famous with Yahoo stock. All right, so check that out. Go to protraderstrategies.com and sign up for that. If you can't take that, take it easy.